Have you ever noticed subtle changes in an older loved one and wondered what they might really mean? When you reach your 60s, 70s, or 80s, life has a way of shifting in gentle but unmistakable ways, and sometimes those shifts speak to something deeper. This video is especially important if you have aging parents, a spouse, or dear friends in their later years, because understanding these signs can help you offer comfort, clarity, and peace during one of the most delicate seasons of life. Today we're talking about 5 signs many seniors show in their last year of life. These signs are not meant to frighten you. They're meant to guide you, help you recognize what's happening beneath the surface, and give you the tools to respond with compassion rather than confusion or fear. Stay with me until the end, because each sign reveals something important, not just about the physical body, but about the emotional, mental, and spiritual journey many seniors go through. You'll learn how these signs show up, why they happen, and how you can support the people you love with grace, patience, and confidence. By the time we're done, you'll have a clearer understanding of what to look for and how to respond in a way that honors their dignity and strengthens your connection during this profoundly meaningful stage of life. Now let's begin. Sign 1. Noticeable changes in appetite and eating habits. One of the earliest and most common signs that often appears in a senior's last year of life is a shift in appetite. This change isn't always dramatic or sudden. Instead, it tends to unfold quietly, almost like a gentle tide that rolls in over time. A person who once looked forward to favorite meals might start leaving more on their plate. Eating only a few bites or showing little interest in foods they used to love. This can be hard to watch, especially for family members who want to nurture and care for their loved one. Food is woven into the heart of our families, our memories, and our daily routines. So when an older parent or spouse begins to decline, food families often feel alarmed or even guilty, wondering if they should push more or cook something different. But here's the reality: as the body slows down, it simply doesn't need as much fuel. The digestive system becomes less efficient and the senses of taste and smell grow fainter, making even the best home-cooked meal less appealing. Take John, for example, who's 83 and always enjoyed a hearty breakfast. In his last year, he started turning down bacon and eggs in favor of a little toast and tea. His daughter, worried that he wasn't eating enough, tried everything she could think of: oatmeal, fruit, even pancakes on Sunday mornings. But the truth was, John's body just didn't need the same nourishment as before, and forcing more food only left him uncomfortable. These changes aren't just about nutrition. They're also part of the body's natural way of conserving energy, shifting resources toward comfort rather than growth or repair. This is the body's quiet wisdom at work, an inner knowing that it's time to slow down. Sometimes you'll also notice a preference for softer foods, more liquids, or even skipping meals altogether. What can you do? Focus on comfort, not calories. Offer favorite foods in small amounts. Keep water or juice nearby and let your loved one set the pace. Gentle encouragement is fine, but respect their wishes. Remember, sharing a cup of tea or a few spoonfuls of pudding together can mean more than any feast. Watching someone you care about lose their appetite can feel like letting go of a piece of who they used to be. But it's also a reminder to cherish the present moment, to connect in new ways, and to honor the natural course of life as it unfolds, one gentle meal at a time. Sign 2. Increased fatigue and more time spent sleeping. Another sign many families notice in a senior's final year is a profound change in energy levels. The person you love may begin to tire more quickly, need frequent naps, or spend much of the day resting. Where once they filled their days with gardening, chatting with neighbors, or working on crosswords at the kitchen table, now you might find them asleep in their favorite chair or drifting off during a television show. This increase in fatigue isn't about laziness or a lack of willpower. It's a reflection of deep physical changes as the body begins to slow down. The heart, lungs, and muscles all work harder to do what once came easily. As the body systems gradually wind down, sleep becomes both a refuge and a necessity. For many, even small activities, getting dressed, eating a meal, or walking to the mailbox, can leave them feeling exhausted. There's also an emotional and psychological side to this fatigue. The mind and spirit often begin to turn inward, reflecting on memories, relationships, and meaning. The need for quiet and stillness grows stronger, and it's common for seniors to spend long stretches of time in a peaceful, dreamlike state, sometimes waking only for brief conversations or sips of water. Let's consider Anne, 79, who was always up early, ready to take on the day. In her last year, she found herself sleeping through the morning, dozing off after lunch and sometimes going back to bed by mid-afternoon. Her daughter worried that she was depressed, but wasn't sad. She just felt a gentle pull toward rest, as if her body was asking for permission to let go and be at ease. Families sometimes wonder if they should try to wake up their loved one, get them outside or encourage more activity. But it's important to remember that this need for rest is the body's way of preparing for the final transition. Forcing wakefulness or too much stimulation can be uncomfortable, even distressing. The most loving thing you can do is offer a soft blanket, a quiet room and your calm presence. Let your loved ones sleep as much as they need and be there to hold a hand, share a memory or simply sit in silence when they wake. These gentle, restful moments are a natural part of life's final chapter, and honoring them brings peace both to the person letting go and to those who remain. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Sign 3: Withdrawal from social activities and relationships. As seniors enter their final year, another sign that often emerges is a gradual withdrawal from the people and activities that once brought them joy. Where your loved one might have once looked forward to family dinners, visits from grandchildren, or weekly card games with old friends, now they may begin to decline invitations, spend more time alone, or seem less interested in keeping up with conversations and daily routines. This change can be hard for families to understand or accept. For those who cherish connection, watching a parent, spouse, or friend become quieter or more distant can stir up sadness, confusion, or even guilt. You may find yourself wondering if you've done something wrong, or if your loved one is angry or depressed. But most often, this gentle turning inward is not about others at all. It's the body and spirit preparing for the next stage. The reasons for this withdrawal are both physical and emotional. Physically, less energy means that socializing can feel overwhelming or exhausting. Noise, busy gatherings, or even the effort to follow a conversation can be tiring when strength is fading. Emotionally, many seniors begin to look inward, reflecting on their life, finding comfort in familiar memories, or quietly making peace with the years that have passed. The need for connection doesn't disappear, but it becomes quieter, more focused, and deeply personal. Consider Ray, who's 85 and was once the life of every party. In his final months, Ray preferred quiet evenings, sitting on the porch at sunset, sometimes holding his wife's hand in silence. He no longer wanted big family gatherings, but he cherished brief, heartfelt visits from his children. He began to call old friends less often, but when he did, their conversations were gentle and meaningful, focusing on gratitude and shared memories rather than plans for the future. Withdrawal doesn't mean your loved one has stopped loving you or no longer cares. It means they're following an ancient rhythm, turning their attention to what feels most important: peace, comfort, and a sense of closure. For families, the best gift you can give is understanding. Offer quiet companionship. Respect their wishes for solitude and cherish the time you do spend together. Even if it's just sitting quietly in the same room, it's normal to feel a sense of loss as you watch these changes unfold, but it can also be a time for deep connection, forgiveness, and gratitude, a chance to say what needs to be said, and to simply be present for the journey one gentle day at a time. Sign 4: Changes in awareness, memory, and orientation. Another sign many seniors show in their last year of life is a gentle but noticeable shift in their awareness of the world around them. This often appears as changes in memory, confusion about time or place, or moments when they seem to drift into their own thoughts, almost as if they're standing halfway between the present and another place entirely. These changes can come and go throughout the day, sometimes appearing without warning and disappearing just as quickly. Families often find these moments unsettling. A loved one may forget what day it is or ask the same question several times. They may talk about people long gone, as if they were still near, or refer to events from decades earlier with clarity, while struggling to recall something that happened an hour ago. They might look around a familiar room and appear unsure of where they are, or suddenly seem lost while sitting in their favorite chair. These episodes may seem random, but they reflect a deeper shift in how the brain processes information during the final stages of life. For many seniors, the boundary between memory and reality becomes softer, more fluid. The mind begins to prioritize what feels emotionally meaningful rather than what is logically immediate. Long-term memories often stay vivid because they are tied to identity, family history, and life-defining experiences. Short-term memories, however, can become harder to hold on to, slipping away before they fully settle. This isn't a sign of stubbornness or a lack of effort. It's simply the brain's way of conserving energy and focusing on what feels essential. Let me share the experience of Leonard, who was 82 during his final year. His daughter noticed that he often mixed up the time of day or thought he was back in the home he lived in during his childhood. Sometimes he would speak to her as if she were his sister who had passed many years earlier. When she gently reminded him of the present, he would look confused for a moment, then smile softly as if he had been waking from a pleasant dream. What helped his daughter most was understanding that these moments weren't something to correct or fight against. They were part of the natural process of letting go. These changes also extend to awareness of surroundings. Seniors may become less responsive to the world outside, not because they don't care, but because their senses gradually shift inward. Sounds may seem distant or muffled. Conversations may feel harder to follow, even when spoken clearly. Some may stare into the distance for long periods, appearing contemplative or detached. Families sometimes interpret this as sadness or boredom, but often it's simply a change in how the mind processes information as the body slows down. Another aspect of this shift is a change in sleep-wake patterns. A senior nearing the end of life may sleep for long stretches during the day and become more alert at night. They may drift in and out of wakefulness in a way that feels unpredictable. The sense of night and day becomes less meaningful as the body's internal rhythms soften. This can be confusing for families, but it's a natural part of the process and not a sign of discomfort. It's important to remember that these changes in awareness rarely mean your loved one is in distress. In fact, many seniors report feeling peaceful or comforted when recalling old memories or resting in quiet reflection. The world inside their mind can feel more soothing than the busyness of the present. What they need most during this time is reassurance, soft voices, gentle touches, and the calming presence of someone they trust. For families, patience becomes an act of love. Instead of correcting or challenging confusion, try entering the moment with your loved one. If they believe they're talking to an old friend or reliving a moment from years ago, meet them there with a kind heart. If they seem disoriented, offer gentle grounding, holding their hand, speaking their name, or reminding them you're by their side. And if they slip into silence, sit with them, letting them know you're present even when words aren't needed. These shifts in awareness can be bittersweet. They remind us that the person we know so well is moving toward a different stage of life, one where memories and emotions guide the way more than time or logic. But they also invite us to slow down, listen with compassion, and stay connected in the ways that matter most. As difficult as it can be to witness, this tender stage offers a chance for deeper understanding. Forgiveness and closeness, a meaningful part of honoring a life lived over many decades. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Sign 5. Noticeable changes in physical appearance and movement as a senior enters their last year of life. Another sign families may observe is a shift in physical appearance and the way the body moves. These changes can be gradual or more pronounced, but they're almost always a signal that the body's winding down, conserving its energy and preparing for the final transition. You may notice a loved one losing weight even though their eating habits haven't changed much. Cheeks can appear sunken, hands thinner, and clothes may fit more loosely. The skin may become more fragile and prone to bruising, and you might see changes in color, a gentle paleness, a coolness in the hands or feet, or even a slight mottling or purplish tint as circulation slows. For families who've watched their loved one's face for years, these physical changes can feel startling, even a little heartbreaking. But it's important to remember the body knows what it's doing. This is not about suffering, but about nature's way of preparing for rest. Movement often becomes slower and more deliberate. A person who once moved easily from room to room may now need help standing, walking, or even sitting upright. Tasks like bathing, dressing, or getting in and out of bed might require extra support. You may see your loved one spending most of their time in bed or a favorite chair, And when they do move, their steps may be shorter or more unsteady. For some, there are changes in facial expressions and gestures. Smiles may come less often, but when they do, they're often full of warmth and meaning. Eye contact may become brief or less frequent, yet there is a quiet communication in the squeeze of a hand or a soft nod. The body language becomes more subtle, sometimes just a gentle sigh, a turn of the head or a peaceful stillness that fills the room. Let's think about Margaret, 84, who was always tall and proud, walking every morning and tending her rose bushes. In her final year, her steps grew smaller and she let others help her up from the sofa. She smiled more with her eyes than her mouth, and when she reached for her daughter's hand, it was with a strength that came from love, not muscle. Families often wonder how to respond to these changes. The answer is to meet your loved one with acceptance and tenderness. Offer help without rushing, provide soft clothing and warm blankets, and keep the environment peaceful. Small acts of care, moisturizing dry skin, brushing hair, or just sitting quietly together can offer comfort and dignity. Physical changes are a reminder that life's journey is a cycle, and that letting go is a natural part of that process. As hard as it can be, this stage can also be deeply meaningful. It invites families to slow down, treasure each moment, and offer the kind of gentle presence that speaks louder than words. It is in these quiet physical exchanges that love is most deeply felt, lasting well beyond the boundaries of the body itself. Final thoughts. As we come to the close of today's video, I invite you to take a breath and reflect on the signs we've explored together. Maybe you recognize some of these changes in your own loved one, or perhaps you're simply preparing yourself for what lies ahead. Whatever brings you here, know that you're not alone. These experiences touch nearly every family, and facing them with knowledge and compassion can make all the difference. What stood out to you the most? Which sign spoke to your heart or helped you see your loved one's journey in a new light? It's natural to feel a mix of emotions, sadness, uncertainty, even relief. But above all, this is a season to focus on love, presence, and the gentle ways we care for each other as time draws near. Remember, these signs are not just signals of loss. They're invitations to connect more deeply, to share memories, to forgive old hurts, and to simply be present. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can offer is your hand, your patience, and your willingness to walk this part of the road together. These moments, as difficult as they may be, are also filled with opportunities for tenderness and meaning. If you find yourself overwhelmed, reach out for support. Talk to friends, seek help from hospice professionals, or connect with others who have walked a similar path. There's wisdom and comfort to be found in community. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today, and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.